hello, welcome on the Tate Show, The Man! And on this week's interview, we got a lovely guest.
Hello. My name is Claudia Stark. I'm a singer-songwriter, and I'm very happy to be here.
Yay! Not a Let's Player!
No, I'm not a gamer. I'm a musician.
That's always fun for me, getting someone different. Because I want to interview, interesting people.
Yeah, something a bit different.
Yeah, like model, reviewer, musician. So, how did you start off in YouTube?
So, YouTube was a bit of a weird one for me because I guess I'd always wanted to. I use it as a promotional tool for my music more than I do to be a YouTuber per se. I do enjoy doing it because I love film and everything. I studied media and photography and music and stuff at school, so I've always loved that side of everything. But at first, YouTube started off as just a way to put up videos. So I think the first video I ever uploaded to my channel was a music video for one of my songs. And that was the first few, but then I realized I actually quite liked doing, like Q&As and about me's and just stuff like that that's a bit more interesting, that people actually want to come and see more content from your channel, because it's a very good promotional tool to have. So that's kind of where it started.
So a promotional tool, that's what it is. One of the best. I think it's one of the best promotional tools if you know how to use it.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to use it, it could be a complete disaster and heartbreaking.
There's a lot of tricky things on there. I was going to say, it all works through algorithms and some sort of computer science, which I'm not really good at, but there's all sorts of things that you have to do to get your videos higher up in the rankings and stuff. So that's a bit tricky, that side of it.
I was watching a Let's Play, and they were big YouTubers, and they said YouTube is 80% networking.
Yeah, very true, very true.
And yeah, I completely agree with that. So it's great that you used it as a great promotional tool, because it is. Facebook's good in some ways, but YouTube has a better one that you can instantly know if someone likes or dislikes it.
Yeah. You also get more of a feel for someone's personality, don't you, in a video? I think even if they're nervous, you get a kind of idea of the type of person they are, whereas on Facebook, so on my page I post text posts and photos and stuff, but you don't really get the same feel as you do if you see a video of someone actually talking to you.
That is that's very true. So you also you sing songwriter, but you do vlogs now and again, and your vlogs are very interesting. I've seen a few, and the 20 facts was a good one, because when I was I asked you to do the interview and you agreed, and I was like, awesome. And then I was like, alright, because I've interviewed other people before, and then I just realised they've just released a big huge interview with someone else. I'm like, oh god, how can I ask interesting questions? I had Professor Juice, who just did 2 interviews before mine were big ones, and answered every question I was going to ask. So I was like, I'm going to have to make sure I ask interesting questions, nothing to just make sure I don't ask the same questions, so she's not bored and she still finds it interesting.
Yeah.
But then I saw your video, 25 facts, I'm like, well!
Can't ask any of that stuff.
Awesome! Just awesome! But your videos of setting up and your guitar and changing strings, I found was really interesting. That because I usually just take string one by one at a time, and you kind of elaborate that you should take them all off at the same time, tension wise.
Yeah, I think it's just better for the whole body of the guitar, because the thing which scares me about the guitar is it's basically a massive body of tension when the strings are on there. That's how it works, because it's all tension, so it's kind of scary. So I loosen them off at the same time just so it doesn't damage bits of the guitar and stuff.
Have you how common is you, because every time I've changed the string or gone past the guitar, I cut my hand a little bit on that stupid E string.
Oh yeah, the sharp one.
How
Yeah.
how often do you hurt your hand by removing them strings?
Do you know what? I don't think I've ever cut my hand from removing them. I've had a few whip me when I'm trying to tune them. Like sometimes if you're tuning your E string up,
Yeah.
it snaps and it will like whip your hand. That's a worry. I think it's happened to me twice, and since those two times, I do it really, really carefully. But I don't think, no, I'm not sure I've ever cut myself when tuning.
Nice, nice.
Like when I'm putting the strings on, rather.
I once walked past the guitar and it cut me. But I remember I've done it twice as well. I've done this twice when I was starting off tuning guitar, right? So I had a guitar and I was tuning and I was hitting the bottom E, or
Yeah.
you know, I call it a bit pretentious. It's small, but it's like I'm the most powerful one because blah
Yeah.
blah blah. Because we write music complicated for beginners. So I was hitting that E and turning it, and I was like, "There's no difference." And the tuner, I use one of the click-on tuners. I was like, "It's nothing's changing," and it popped. The G chord popped. I was doing the
Yeah.
wrong shooter one, and I've done that twice, and it's the most terrifying thing in the world when a string pops through. Because if it is a horribly terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. Like it's one of those things where you know it's gonna like hit you. You like you know it.
Yeah, and the first time I was changing my strings, I was like, "Can I just cut them?" And
Yeah, I think
my brother's
you
like,
can.
"Do not cut your strings if they're tuned in.
Yeah.
Loosen them."
Yeah, you definitely can cut them. But I don't think it's good for the guitar. You can do it, but I don't think it's good for it.
It doesn't be good for anyone. Because I was trying to get a mandolin. I was like, because they look awesome, and
Yeah.
I was then every time I put mandolin into YouTube or Google, mainly Google, I'd get images of mandolin injuries, and that is the most terrifying thing I've ever seen.
And mandolins are even more tense than like guitars because it's double strings. My mandolin is actually quite hard to play because when you, I guess it's kind of like a ukulele. Like it's got a small neck and everything, but the strings are so hard to press down. So I actually you get hard tips of your like fingers when you're playing guitar, but mandolin when you first start playing it actually bruises your fingers because it's so hard to press the strings down.
Good thing I didn't get one.
Yeah, it's not painful in the same way because because when you're playing the guitar, actually the strings actually dig into your fingers, whereas with the mandolin it doesn't do that because there's two of them, so it's kind of distributed, but then it just ends up like bruising your fingers instead.
And you don't really want to be taking, because when you first start playing guitar, and I'm recently, because I've been doing it for 2 years playing guitar,
Yeah,
I always say to someone starting off, I was like, it's the steepest learning curve. Your fingers are going to be killing you
yeah,
when you start off. Do 10 minutes a day. But it's always like, you can tell if someone's interested if they're still doing it 6 months later.
yeah, definitely.
Because if they're not doing it 6 months later, trying it every day, it's like, you're not going to get anywhere.
It's kind of it takes a lot of dedication, definitely. I think when you first start, like the pain isn't worth it, and you think, oh no, like I'll just leave it. But it doesn't last for that long if you keep going at it.
How long have you been playing guitar?
I've been actually playing since I was in year 9 at school. So, God, I don't know how long it is. I would say maybe like I don't know 7 years or something. But I haven't really progressed as such because I've got a lot better in terms of just how comfortable I am with playing. I've progressed a lot, so everything that I could play back then I can now play a lot better. But I haven't really delved into the soloing and that kind of side yet, which I'd really like to. I'm actually saving up for an electric guitar at the moment just so I can, because I love all that side of music and I love hearing people playing guitar solos and thinking, I want to be able to play that. So I'm saving up for an electric guitar so I can delve into that side a bit more because I feel like I've spent 7 years learning how to play chords nicely and different riffs and stuff. But yeah, I'd love to be able to solo.
Nice, nice. So some solos are really good. Some solos are just like it's been 15 minutes. Is there going to be a break? Is the song going to continue? Because
Yeah.
I love. It's on YouTube somewhere. Meatloaf's original Battle with Hell tour.
Okay.
There is a guitar solo, a bass solo. Bass solos are awesome.
Yeah.
Drum
Definitely.
solo, keyboard solo, all because he's in the corner trying to catch his breath. In a row, each one had a solo in a row because he's in the corner trying to catch his breath.
Green Day do something like that because they do like a 3-hour live show. So they have this song in the middle where they all just lie down on the stage and play their instruments because they're so tired because they play for 2.5, 3 hours. So they need like at least one song in the set where they just chill out. So they do a cover on one of their songs called Kim for a Day, and they just lie down on the stage. It's awesome.
Good, good. I'm sure 3 hours is like, but I'm more impressed with that Meatloaf is asthmatic,
Oh yeah, fair play.
vegetarian. Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah.
He's a large man for a vegetarian. I give him
Full
kudos.
credit.
But his music, I love his music. Bad Out of Hell, the album, I always listen to when I'm really down in the dumps with something or a bad relationship. That's a great relationship song.
Yeah.
It really builds you up. It's a constant build-ups album. If you've never listened to it, everyone should listen to it at least once because it's awesome.
Yeah, I haven't heard it, I'll be honest.
Oh,
Now
right.
you've made me want to listen to it, so
Because
yeah, I'll check it out.
he's such a strong voice for such a big guy.
Yeah.
But he's yeah.
Yeah.
Now I found Miss Stark. How come? Have you wanted to do any parodies of? Do you enjoy parody songs?
The funny thing is I enjoy watching parodies, but I've never really thought about doing one myself. My dad's actually in this barbershop choir, and one of his friends in the choir does amazing parodies. Well, I don't know if they're parodies. He basically changes the words to songs. So he would do, I don't know, he would do like a cover of a Bowie song, but he would change all the words to it, and it's hilarious. He's so good at it. But I have a very good sense of humour in that I find a lot of things funny, but I'm not a funny person by default, so parodies probably aren't the best thing for me to do.
Fair enough. So you like, have you got many jokes or people commenting about Stark and Game of Thrones and all this?
Well, the funny thing is I only changed my name, so we were saying this before, but I used to just go by Claudia, but because there's hundreds of thousands of Claudias on the internet, it was just a complete fail, to be honest. Like, it was really hard to find me, but my full name's quite long, and I just didn't think I had a very good ring to it. So Stark is actually my granddad's last name, so I just decided to plonk that on the end, and it's worked because it's a lot easier to find me on the internet now. But I literally only changed it officially on the 1st of January, and I've already had so many people be like, oh, Tony Stark, or like, yeah, talking about Game of Thrones. So I've had a lot of it already, so I'm sure. And the funny thing is my dad's called Tony as well, so
Nice.
yeah, I'm sure there's more to come from Iron Man and all sorts.
Yeah. So I found you because of Bowie, and you do a very nice cover of Changes. Who is your big influence in your music and who made you start getting into it? Why did you get into music, and how'd you keep on going?
It's strange because in terms of who got me into music, it basically was my dad from a very young age, because my dad plays the acoustic guitar, and he's a really good guitarist. He plays the piano. He's really good at the piano. So we kind of always had music in our house anyway, from a really young age. So my brother and I always played instruments, and we had music lessons and all that kind of thing. So music's always been around, but I actually used to play the flute. That was my main instrument. So in terms of playing the guitar and stuff, I think there was just a few people around that time when I was younger that really influenced me to play. But in terms of my music now, I'm really influenced by, there's a guy called Frank Turner who writes kind of folk punk type music. It's all based on society and stuff, which I think he influences me so much because that's what a lot of my music is about. It's stuff that annoys me about people and things in society. So he's one of my main influences. I also really like bands like Green Day just because of the punky sort of vibes. But I listen to a lot of everything, so it's kind of hard to pinpoint who has influenced me, I suppose, because I really like stuff from most genres. Yeah, it's a tricky one.
That's a yeah. Well, I'll try to make that question a lot easier for the next person. Next person. But so I found you on is it SoundCloud? Yeah, SoundCloud.
Yeah.
And I listened to all of that, and I've listened to it a few times, and I love the artwork of the covers of all the songs.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
It all looks like it was done in paint.
Yeah, so I did what I did for the artwork. I'll get it up now, actually, so I can explain to you. For the artwork, I basically I drew it myself in a notebook. Find my page. I drew it in a notebook and then I imported it into Photoshop, and I had to kind of work out how I was gonna get it from Photoshop, from the page into Photoshop to looking like this. So it's all like hand drawn basically, and then just put into Photoshop and sorted out. But I've always been quite DIY and like to do my own artwork for albums and stuff. So for my new EP coming out, I'm doing all the artwork for that and stuff as well. Yeah, I just really enjoy it.
Yeah, I like the way, like the names of the songs are just straightforward. This way, but if, what to do, know the feeling, silence. They're all really good. And I was like, I got to the end of Silence. It's Silence, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it jumped to My Mind EP.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right, so she has loads of stuff. And then I realised it was the exact same stuff. I just listened to it.
EP, yeah. It's weird because that EP is actually really old now. I think I recorded it in 2011 or 12. So this new music that I'm bringing out in April, I'm just so happy to have it out because it's something new. Because I love the songs on that EP, but just the singing and the guitar and stuff, I feel like if I was to record that again, I could do it much better, and I would do it in a different way, maybe. But it's still like, it has a very close place in my heart because I still like all the songs, and they were the first songs that I wrote that I felt like really represented my writing style, I suppose.
What kind of would you say your like what genre would you class yourself as?
People ask me this a lot, and I find it hard to. I suppose I don't really like to pigeonhole it, but I normally say indie pop, so kind of like acoustic indie pop. But my new EP is a full band, so it's not so acoustic. But yeah, I'd say indie pop. It's a kind of a mixture because it's quite, a lot of the songs are quite sing along on the EP, but then they've also got a slightly quirky feel to them that isn't, I don't know, like generic of what's on the radio at the moment. So yeah, indie pop, I guess.
Your new EP, what's it called?
It's called Short Fuse, which is
this
one of the tracks off the EP.
Is this breaking news?
It is breaking news. Yeah, I actually haven't. People know I'm bringing out an EP this spring, but this is the first time I'll be actually probably talking about it. So
what?
You can put exclusive in the video title.
I will exclusive. How many songs is on it?
So it's 4 tracks.
No, and you said a band. So are you doing all the music, or did you actually get a band?
Well, I've recorded it all actually now. So I have a drummer that I was playing with last year, and he's playing with me for the EP launch. And then I'm going to have a guitarist and a bassist. But all the tracks were recorded. I work with this guy called James Welch, who's like an incredible producer, and he he's so enthusiastic and energetic about like any music he's producing. Like I'd highly recommend people working with him. And he's a really, really good musician himself. He plays like the guitar, the bass, the piano. So he recorded quite a lot of the parts for it, and then I recorded the acoustic guitar parts and the singing. And then we got someone else to do drums for the actual recording.
So I will be very looking forward to hearing some of the tasty jams.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having it out because I've had them recorded for a while, so it'd be nice to finally release it into the world.
How so what is it like in a studio recording? Like how long did it take you to record? Did you know everything going in, or did you go in with a blank canvas going, I have a song, well let's see what I can do with it, or did you just go in going, I know exactly what's going to happen?
It was quite a blank canvas for this one actually, because I'd never really had a producer's head in the sense of knowing all the different kind of parts that you could put into something and how you can make it sound bigger at this point or smaller at this point. And it's funny because since working in the studio on this EP, it's opened my eyes so much more to production and stuff, because you hear it all the time in tracks on the radio. You know, you'll hear tiny things in the background and certain types of backing vocals, but you never really think, I don't know, you never really think about applying them to your own music. But since I've been doing YouTube and doing all of this layering and stuff as well, I've got much more of an idea. But for this recording, I went into the studio kind of blank canvas, and me and my producer, we just talked everything out. So it's kind of co-produced. I mean, James comes up with some amazing ideas, and I'd be like, oh, I don't really want that there, but maybe we can have it here and a bit louder. So it was sort of a collaborative process, but he's just got such a good brain for coming up with parts and
a
all
good
this kind
ear
of thing.
for it.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's a better phrase.
I got to see, because I'm really interested in, because I do really shit music and I put it on YouTube.
Okay.
Right, it's the only way I can say to it. I'm not happy with my vocals. I did a cover of Hurt and I recorded it about 50 times and I wasn't happy once. But I eventually put it up, and I do loads of songs. I write a song really quick, and I do it, and I just want to get all them out. And I don't put like months of preparation where you should be and months of working on it. I just do it and go, what can I put in it? And so the last one I did, I put ocarina in the background.
Oh, cool.
Very gentle.
I love the ocarina.
Very I can't even play it. Just very gently in the background. And I tried to think of funny and kind of actual moving songs, but I don't put any time or effort into anything else but coming up with the words and the music, the actual guitar. The rest I'm like, what can I put here? So
yeah.
I love because I watched this great thing called The Making of David Bowie's Heroes last night on YouTube.
Okay.
And it's by Tony Visconti, and there's one bit in Heroes that I'm never going to be able to unhear. There's a cowbell. Well, something similar to a cowbell in the background of the song.
Is this the documentary where he's sat in the studio and he's talking about the track?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that too. It's really good, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm really interested in the whole producing side of that. I was like, that Jesus, I've looked for a few other ones. I've seen a few John Lennon ones, but that was very interesting. I'm never not going to hear that cowbell in the song now.
Yeah, because it's one of those things when he talked about it, he plays it solo and he's like, this is in here, and then he goes back to it and you hear it and you've always heard it, but you don't really respect it for what it is because it's such a good piece of production that it just fits in so well.
Because, yeah, it's brilliant that all these random bad noises apart, terrible, but together they make something that fits and it works.
Exactly, yeah.
My brother knows this. My brother's a fantastic guitarist. He I kind of sometimes wish he'd break his arm so I could kind of catch up on him. He's just fantastic, and he can do very complex solos. Anything you think you'd love to do, he can do, but he did it all by teaching himself.
Yeah.
But he knows this. He's the third best sax player in Ireland.
Oh, okay, cool.
And he's a teacher, and he was basically saying your ear can only hear can only pay attention to one or two things.
Yeah.
So my brother would have a very complex song and he'd be like, cut like half that out, it's unnecessary.
Mm.
But when it comes to like heroes, like Tony Swanty was explaining, when it works all together, you'll hear it like you wouldn't hear like the cowbell. You wouldn't like, oh, there's a cowbell. It just works as you're hearing the whole thing. You're not gonna instinctively go, well, that's the drums. And
Yeah.
I like the way that it works. The whole thing flows, and I'd love to know more and see more, because I'd love to find more like breakdown of songs like that.
Yeah, I went to a music college actually for university, and this guy came in who was a producer, and he's produced a lot of big bands, and I really can't remember what the band was called now that he was breaking down the parts for, but he was playing completely solo just the harmony tracks of this guy singing, and it was just the most incredible thing I've ever heard. I just love, because you hear it for your own tracks in the studio, but it's just so good to listen to a song, like a massive, massive tune, and hear just the vocal lines soloed with all the harmonies and stuff. Like, there's nothing quite like it, I don't think.
It's yeah, and you it was. How complex have your songs in this new LP going to be?
There, do you mean like how many, in terms of parts and things like that?
Yeah, like parts. Yeah.
It's, I think they're very complex compared to how I play now, because at the moment most of my gigs are solo or with Rob, who plays drums for me. So they're, yeah, in terms of my live show at the moment, they are very complex. But I think in terms of the live show that I hope to play in the future, they're kind of bang on for what I would hope to be doing, because it's generally just a full band, but it would be a 6-piece, 5-piece band, because on the EP there's basically me singing and playing acoustic guitar, an electric guitar, bass, drums, but there's also keyboard in quite a lot of them, so that's the part that I'm lacking at the moment, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to get that for the launch or not, because I'm doing a launch show. But yeah, I mean, it's what I hope to be playing in maybe a year's time. Hope to be playing all my shows as that kind of sound.
Nice, nice. Is there any song on the of the four that at the beginning you were just like, I just don't really like this song, but
Yeah.
it turned into be just amazing by the end?
Yeah, there was this track called Escape.
Ooh,
which,
we got a name.
Yeah,
We got a name. Ooh.
Yeah, and with Escape, I'm not sure which track it's going to be on the album. I think it's probably going to be the opening track, actually. But we started it off as like a waltz type thing. We had it, I'd written it in a certain timing, and I went into the studio with my producer, because with the other tracks, I'd had a kind of idea of a bit how I wanted them to sound, but with this one, I just laid it on the table and I played it to him, and I was like, I have no idea what I want to do with this song. And we talked it out, and we started off doing this. We changed it into like 3, like a waltz sort of feel, and we were in the studio and we were like, I love it, like this sounds so good. We were like, yes, this is the way to pull this song. And we both went home, had a listen to it, came back into the studio the next day like, we hate it, we can't do this, it sounds so bad, and we completely changed it, and now I think it's really, really good how it is at the moment.
Nice.
So yeah, that's an example of how something completely changed.
That's how come it was 4 EPs? How not 4 EPs? Sorry. How come it's just 4 songs and not 6 or more, or an album? Is it price wise, or you just were happy with these 4 songs at the beginning?
Yeah, you kind of hit the nail on the head, really. It was basically those were the 4 songs that I'd written and I was really happy with. I've been doing a lot of writing very recently, actually, which is kind of weird, because I'm bringing out these 4 songs that I've been playing in my live set for quite a while. And now I have all of these new songs that I want to be playing in my live set, but I'm now bringing out the ones that I've been playing for a year or so. But yeah, they were just the songs I was really happy with. And I suppose subconsciously it might have been partly cost, but I think also I see an album as like a big futuristic thing that you want to be really big and to go out to a lot of people, and I think I'm not there yet. I'd like to bring out my album and it be a really, really big thing. So I think I'm just going to release EPs of tracks I'm happy with up until that point, probably.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you because I listened to a few songs. Well, I really liked the. Oh my god! Why can I not remember the name of it? Mind Blown. My mind. Sorry, Mind Blown.
Yeah.
I really liked all the songs in them, and
Okay.
I can't remember what point I was going to make with this. Oh yeah. So when it comes to you, when you do your own songs on YouTube, when you do covers and all this, what way do you do it? Do you do my song cover, or do you just keep your own songs to so people had to go and see it? Well, not had to go and see it, but do you want to see your true style? They had to go. They had to find you and see you and enjoy the show. Or what way do you like releasing videos on YouTube?
Well, when I first started doing YouTube, I was like, I'm just going to do original music on this. I might put a few covers in here and there, but it'll be an original music channel. But then I was actually thinking, quite like what you said, I want it to be kind of exclusive, my songs. And there's a few songs that I've put out there live, but I wouldn't put the proper produced tracks out until the EP is out or coming out. So one of the tracks from the EP, I'm going to make a video for, and I'll bring that out close to the launch. But I generally like to kind of keep things under wraps. So I've got a lot of new songs now that I sort of want to upload, but at the same time, I want to keep them to myself a bit and just play them in my live show and properly craft them to how I want them to be, and then maybe upload them close to release. So I really enjoy covering other people's songs as well. So as long as they're songs that I listen to and I feel passionate about, then I enjoy, changing them up a bit and covering them. So I think at the moment I'm mainly doing covers, but the channel did start out as an original music channel, and that's kind of what it still is. I'm just using it in a different way now, I suppose.
Is like I just released one of my because Bowie's been my biggest influence when it comes to music, and I've been told I sound like Bowie and Bob Dylan singing.
Okay,
And
interesting combo.
Yeah, and I said to someone, I was like, "Is that good?" I was like, "That's really good." I was like, "Okay, like, probably whatever." I sound like Bob Dylan and Bowie.
I mean, they both have very unique voices, so I guess that means you have an even uniquer voice.
Yeah. But I've also been told every song I sing, I sound like Bowie. And I think
Okay.
that's from just, as a kid, my dad would play Bowie all the time, and I was either hate him or love him. And so I'd sing his songs. But I just released last week Letter to Hermione.
Okay.
If you've never heard of it, it's like his one perfect love song.
Ah, okay, interesting.
And it's taken me, because it was originally the first song I wanted to cover, but it was so close to his death. I was like, I'm not confident. I can play the song, I can sing the song. I like playing the song, but if I play it, I want to give it like everything. Like,
Yeah.
but that was the first song I was able to do like 3 takes, and I used the second one because I was like, I'm just really happy with it. I didn't stutter, I didn't miss a chord. And the first thing I got was a dislike, and I love that. I love putting a new song up where it's no videos, no problem. I don't mind putting videos and getting no views or anything, but when it comes to like a song where I've put so much of me into it, and I'm like, oh god, can I? So it took me ages to do this song. Like I did Hurt beforehand, a song I wasn't confident with, and still not confident with. I'd probably never be confident with, because they're such good songs, and I want to give like the utmost respect to the original, like, okay, 9 Inch Nails and Johnny Cash. I want to give them the absolute respect. And when it comes to Bowie, who's my musical hero, I was very nervous about putting that up.
Yeah.
And going, okay, this has to be perfect in every way. I don't want to piss on it. I don't want people to think I'm making fun of it. And there's been a few songs that I've learned, or I want to learn. Like what was that one? Somebody to Love? Is that the name?
Yeah, that is a really good tune. That's a really good
And
tune.
I learned it really quick, but when I'm like, I can't record this for probably about several years, I'm not that confident. Because it's such a good classic song.
Yeah, you made me want to cover it now. It's singing it in my head now.
Like, there's Nina Simone songs I'd love to do, but I definitely should not try to do a Nina Simone song, because she's perfect at her songs, and sometimes when I hear covers of her songs, it was like, oh God, where's Nina Simone's version? If you don't know who Nina Simone is, go look her up, everyone.
There's a few artists I have like that where I don't really want to cover their songs because I feel like they're so perfect as they are. There's this I was going to say there's a song called Fast Car by Tracy Chapman, but everybody knows Fast Car by Tracy Chapman. Even if they don't think they know it, they know it. It's one of those songs. And I've wanted to cover that for years now, and I just haven't been at the stage where I've been happy with my version of it because it's such a stripped down song anyway, and a lot of the time there'll be a song that I love and I kind of strip it down a bit and I feel like it's different enough that even if people love the original, they might not mind what I'm doing because it's on a different playing field, I guess. But with that song, because it's acoustic anyway, I haven't really properly given it the time just because like you said, I'm just worried that it's not going to do the song credit.
Yeah.
And now they have this horrible like remix version of it out on the radio. I'm like, I don't understand why this song has got big because it's a massive song as it is. Why is there a horrible remix of, I don't know, anyway.
Have you ever heard of Newton Faulkner?
Yeah. He was one of the people I was going to say to you when I was saying there were people who influenced me to learn the guitar in the first place. Dream Catch Me was literally one of the first songs I ever learned on the guitar.
Oh, that's lovely. I love the way he uses the guitar. Not just the guitar, he bangs on it, he does all these amazing things, and I love his new albums. And I was just going to ask, do you know Neil? No, but I could.
Yeah, no, I love a lot of his music actually. I think my favourite album is Hand Built by Robots, but I do love, I think the concept of Studio Zoo was so cool because he recorded it, he had a live feed whenever he was recording and stuff. I didn't actually end up watching any of them, but I heard about it and I was like, that is the coolest thing for people to actually be able to see you working in the studio and see what you're doing is very cool.
Did he do that whole thing? Was it over a month or 2 weeks? Because I remember seeing, I saw bits of it and I'm like, I actually went the minute the album, because he was like, okay, it's done, the album's coming out this day. I went out and bought it that day because I think I've bought all his albums because, of course, I bought his albums because I love his style and I love that. Now my brother fell out in love with him with his third album because it just sounded like a Broken Heart song album.
Yeah.
And but I don't mind that. Like, my favourite song for him, and I'd love, because I went to see him. Now, when I went to see him, I was 16, or I was 17, and he had to be 18 to see him, so we just had to pretend and all this. But it was like a 2.5 hour shows. He did Bohemian Rhapsody. His guitar broke halfway through it. Swapped guitars. He did a fantastic show. He's a very funny man as well. But my favourite...
so funny.
My favourite song I've heard of him, and... it's a song that's on a single album, is Dog Food Taster.
Oh, okay.
You should, again, everyone, check it out. It's a professional dog food taster. It's funny, it's catchy, it's brilliant.
I think I've seen him play that actually.
Have you seen him play?
Yeah, because I saw him at G Live, which is our venue in Guildford. But I think he's from Reigate or somewhere very close by, because I'm from Surrey, that's the county I'm from. And he's from Surrey as well, so I think it was kind of almost his home show. But yeah, no, he played there, and it was like you were saying, he's so funny. And I think because I knew he was playing solo, I was like, oh, I wonder what the show will be like, because sometimes it can be a bit slow or it goes on a bit, but like he's such a good performer. And yeah, he has all these different guitars that he uses, and yeah, it's just very, very good.
Yeah. Everyone, check out Newton Faulkner. He's awesome.
Everybody, yeah.
he recently did a live stream. He's doing live stream of Fallout 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he's done 2.
So cool.
2 I've known of, and I was just like during it going.
I had no idea about that. That's the coolest thing.
Yeah, well, his friend's playing, and he's just in the corner answering the questions. So I obviously went, Newton,
That is cool.
Can you sing Dog Food Taster? He said, oh yeah, we'll do that on the live show. I was like, no. Then I was like,
Awesome.
Newton, can can I interview you? Just ignore that one. Like,
Yeah.
he seems like anytime I've seen an interview of him, he just seems like down to earth and real nice, chill guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a song. I was just going to say there's a song called "I Need Something" by him that I really, really want to cover, but the guitar part is so hard to sing along with. It's one of those songs as well that I'd love to be able to aim towards.
He doesn't do anything by half, does he?
No.
Have you? Because I just want to ask about people you've actually heard and not heard. Have you heard of a band called an indie band called Ghost of a Saber-Tooth Tiger?
I haven't. No.
Okay. Everyone else, check Ghost of a Saber-Tooth Tiger. I won't go into them. They're a very good indie band. So we're at my 40-minute mark of the interview.
Okie dokie.
And this is usually when I ask questions that no one enjoys.
Random question time.
These questions are robbed from the inside the actor's studio, and he robbed them from a French interviewer. And now you're the first person I've ever let know beforehand I'm going to ask these questions.
Okay.
So, are you ready?
Yes.
Are you sure?
I think.
Then no one likes them. So, what is your favourite word?
I know this. I have quite a lot of favourite words, but plethora is one of my favourite words, which I used to pronounce plethora, but apparently that's not right.
Plethora?
Yeah, like a plethora. It's like an abundance almost, which is also a good word, but
how come plethora? I
don't know.
I never
it just
asked
sounds
people.
so grand and like I don't know.
Plethora. It's fun to say.
I just think it's like, who came up with that word? Who was like, I'm gonna call this a plethora of something? I don't know.
What is your least favourite word?
Oh, there's so many horrible words. I feel like I don't know, probably something to describe something gross, like, I don't know, gunge is kind of a horrible word, isn't it? I don't know.
Gunge.
Something disgusting.
Fair enough, gunge. Okay, now the next two I always hate asking. It's what turns you on, but I usually ask what turns you on creatively.
Yeah, because I was reading this and I was like, well, I'll talk about it creatively.
Because I'm not going to go, so when the fellas bring you out, what you like, I'm not going to, like, when I asked Valentino, I was like, oh God, how can I ask these questions without coming off as a giant perv?
No, it's a good way to explain it. I would say just music, generally. I can't imagine a world without music, so...
Nice.
That definitely inspires me in life in general.
What sound... Oh, sorry, what turns you off creatively?
Creatively,
Fucking ideas.
I feel like you sent me these questions before, so I should have prepared. But even at the time you sent me them, some of them I was like, I don't know if I'll ever have the answer. I really don't know. I'm a very creative being, so I think a lot of things that I see, I find inspire me. One thing I find difficult to get on with is listening to really heavy screamo. Like, I've been to live shows before and I love seeing it live, but listening to it in headphones makes my throat feel like it's hurting. So maybe that, like, really, really heavy metal, because I enjoy metal, but something really heavy maybe.
Not a fan of metal. My friend Kate absolutely loves Slipknot. I bought her tickets to see Slipknot.
Okay.
And she's like, she's like, do you want to come and see it with me? I was like, sorry, I'm not a 14-year-old boy. She got super offended by that one. I was like, I'm just not a fan of them. I was a fan of them when I was a 14. I really liked them, but I was like, that's not my style anymore. I like soft, relaxing kind of music.
Yeah.
Jazz that you can play polka to.
Smooth jazz.
What sound or noise? Now these ones should be perfect for you. What sound and noise do you love?
I mean, this isn't really musical, but I love the sound of birds, and I also love the sound of rain. So I love being in like a conservatory with really, really heavy rain. So birds are nice, but they're really annoying when it's like 5 a.m. and it wakes you up. So I would say rain is my favourite sound.
Have you ever? There's only one band I've ever known to actually use rain in a song. Is a band called Hurt.
Okay.
And I think it was on their album Volume 2, and they actually the Volume 1 ends with rain starting, I think, and the second album starts with rain.
Okay.
And it's a fantastic sound if you listen to that and it's raining outside.
I think there's a few things I've heard. Like there's a band called Bullet for My Valentine, and I think it's their album Poison. There's an intro to it, and there's rain during like that whole song, as far as I remember. And then also there's a song by Eminem called Stan, and I think it's from the music video, but it starts off with rain, and it's perfectly suitable because it's a really sad song.
Nice. What sound or noise do you hate?
I think the thing is I'm actually really bad for this, but I think it's people chewing and eating stuff.
Like in the cinema, grazing?
I think the funny thing is I don't mind listening to it just normally, but if I'm eating, it really bothers me. Like my brother's quite a loud eater, and if he's just doing that when I'm not eating, but when I'm eating myself, it really, really bothers me, or when I'm with other people. So probably the noise of chewing.
Okay, you can say if you want, I will not bleep you out. What is your favourite curse word?
I remember reading this and thinking, I don't really know if I have a favourite.
Favourite most commonly used, I should change it to.
There was a phrase that I used to use, my friend Sam and I at work always used to use, which is get fucked. And like every time something annoying would happen, we'd just be like, get fucked. So it's kind of like a Tourette's-esque thing, like every time something annoying would happen. So more that phrase, I'd say. I don't know if I have a favourite curse word, it's just whatever comes to mind, I suppose.
What profession other than your own would you like to attend? Now usually this is for YouTubes, but you actually are a musician, so this is going to be perfect for you.
Yeah. I've always wanted to be in the creative industry, so kind of anything with that. I think when we were talking earlier, I said that I'd done media and photography and stuff at school, and I've always wanted to be like either like a cameraman or something on a film set or a film editor, because I love editing YouTube videos and stuff, and I really like editing photos and all that kind of thing. So I think I'd love to be an editor of a really massive movie and decide which clips go where, and like I don't think I'd be very good at directing a film, but maybe being the camera person on that particular film. So something like that. If not, then maybe an architect.
What profession would you not like to do?
Something just sitting in an office all day, that would drive me insane.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
One of those.
If heaven exists, what would you like God to say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I actually have quite a deep answer for this.
Well, I am a deep person.
I mean, it's not that deep, but I think I'd want him to. I think this would be the same with anybody who died. You want them to immediately take you to your family members that you'd already lost. So, I mean, none of us ever know when we're going to die, but if you've already lost people, just to introduce you and take you back to the people, I want him to be like, here are your people, and they just be standing there, like, introduction of all the people that you've loved and lost. I think that would be nice.
That's very nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's the last question of them. Now I just usually do that at the 40-minute mark.
Yeah.
But I haven't actually really asked you like some probably important questions. You said in the video you have, and I do not want to get the name of this wrong, repetitive
strain injury?
Yes.
Help you out. Yeah, so did you want me to just explain it?
Yeah, explain what occurs and how do you deal with it, because I never even heard of it before. When I saw your video I was like,
Okay. I mean, it's kind of a sports injury generally, but a lot of musicians get it as well. It's a really common problem, especially for guitarists, and I think people who play violin and piano and stuff like that. I'd vaguely heard of it before I got it, but I was like, oh, I'll never get that. I don't like play guitar solos. I don't do this and that. So it didn't really occur to me it was something I could get. But what it is when kind of just when you overuse a part, or like part of your body, or like a limb in a repetitive way. So a lot of tennis players get it in their elbow and stuff from the constant like sweeping. My brother's had tennis elbow, which is basically repetitive strain injury of the elbow. As far as I'm aware, I'm not a sports person, but yeah, I got it from guitar, from just basically overplaying. I've been playing and playing and playing, and I was playing with a different guitar some of the time, and I also injured it when I went rock climbing. And I think the combination, I think if I hadn't injured it when I went rock climbing, it probably wouldn't have happened, which is the most frustrating thing, to think that that impacted a whole year of my musical career. But, water under the bridge. Uh, it's fine. I'm not still angry about it. But yeah, basically it's an injury from overusing something in a repetitive way.
Does it come on you quite frequent? Do you know when it's coming? Is like triggers, or is it like, okay, I'm gonna have to leave my hand alone for a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's literally I feel like it's the worst thing that you could wish upon somebody who's in a particular trade. Like if you're a tradesman who, I don't know, most boring job ever probably, but puts bottle caps on bottles every day. Like if you were to get that, it just means you can't do your job properly. And I had 3 months last year where I just couldn't play the guitar at all because I had to rest. And every time I play the guitar, my wrist would hurt. So it was a very, very long process to kind of work through. And I'm definitely not out the other side yet, because it's a constant thing throughout the time you have it. It doesn't really come and go. Like you rest it and it might feel better, and then you pick up the guitar and you're like, okay, no, it doesn't feel any better at all. But I don't know if you said you'd seen my video where I changed my guitar strings and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, so I put lighter strings on my guitar because of this injury, and stuff like that helps a lot. So that's made the injury a lot better. So over time, I'm now at a stage where I don't have to worry about it on a daily basis. Whereas before, every day, it was one of the reasons I didn't write last year, because I was worried to pick up the guitar in case I'd make it worse. So luckily I'm at a point where I'm not worrying about it too much anymore, but it definitely did completely ruin my year.
Well, yeah.
Not to be depressing in the interview or anything.
Well, I damaged my knee last year playing volleyball.
Oh yeah, is that what your physio was?
Yeah. Never really sportsy, but I was like, the last few years I've been getting really sportsy, and my team was winning. It was in college. My team was winning basically 2 months in a row, and I jumped the wrong direction, fell down on my knee, and hurt my shock absorbers. So I had to wear a brace, and I could have surgery and all this. But it's the kind of thing that hindered for a while, but I should be on the other side, but I'm sure I'm going to still need keyhole surgery.
Yeah, I think stuff like that, depending on how it heals, can last a really, really long time. That's the thing with this wrist thing as well. I was talking to someone after a gig, and he was like, he'd had it before, and he was like, well, to be honest, it never really goes away. I was like, don't tell me that.
Don't be saying that. He's like, oh, it went after a month.
Yeah, but I think, with injuries, they always pop back up sometimes.
So with your you had a break from a guitar, calluses on your hands, did they just go, or or were they still there? Did you have to relearn to deal with the pain?
Well, I didn't get any visual from the injury that I had. It wasn't visual because it was all like tendon based. But I mean, with not playing the guitar, I didn't notice that it was painful to play as such. I think because I started playing gradually. So for people who don't know what we're saying, just because the end of your fingers go hard when you play guitar a lot, so it's not painful to play, just because I think it's just constant friction of strings against skin. It just hardens up your skin. But I think because when I went back to playing, I was only playing 15 minutes a day or every other day of that, just because I was so worried about triggering it again.
Yeah.
It wasn't really an issue because it wasn't like I was playing hours and hours. So I didn't really notice it, actually.
Well, good. Well, that's great, because my roommate was told about a course and it's sound engineering for video games. And he had to do these 3 tracks of 3 different styles of music. but he
Okay.
hasn't touched a guitar properly in like 6 months.
Oh, okay.
And he had a week to do this, and every day his hands were getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, that's tricky because I think if you suddenly have to play a lot, then that's where the problem comes in. So luckily for me, I wasn't suddenly playing a lot. It was very gradual. But for him, it must have been like, oh, I've got a week and I need to do all of this stuff in 1 week.
Yeah, and he was practicing for like the first 4 days, for like 5 hours. His hands were in bits.
Ouch.
But yeah, okay, so anyone who starts a guitar, right, there's certain chords that you will hate. And I have certain chords that I absolutely hate. And
Which ones are they? Tell me. Tell me.
right, so the main one being any bar chord I absolutely hate.
Okay, yeah.
I hate the bar chords.
It's a common hatred.
Um,
Hatred to bar chord.
My brother basically said to me, he was like, the best way to learn move chord from chord quickly is do a chord, strum, change. Don't do it any kind of time, just keep it changing. And I couldn't do D and G quickly enough.
Yeah.
And oh man, he was just keeping saying to me, just the two chords that you hate changing from, just constantly do. And it's so annoying. He was so true. And I can move chords really quick, but bar chords I absolutely hate. Is there a chord that you hated at the beginning that you still hate because it's horrible?
I definitely hated bar chords at the beginning. I'm still not very good. I find bar chords okay now because I've played them a lot, but I've got really small hands. So and I play a small guitar now, but whenever I look at people and they're learning the guitar and they're like, I can't do the bar chords, I'm like, you're fine. You have bigger hands than me. But yeah, it's very tricky. It's just hand strength is all it is. But there's a bar chord which is B, and I struggle with that because it's a weird angle, and I normally just play that as an open chord rather than the bar chord. So probably a B bar chord isn't my favourite of the chords.
Yeah. The bar chords aren't fun. And
No.
anyone who says they were able to pick up a bar chord straight away from guitars, you are lying, sir.
Well, that's the thing, because once you've played them lots, they're second nature and they're fine. But yeah, you don't just pick up a guitar and are able to play a bar chord.
My brother has the advantage of having really long fingers.
Oh, is he like a piano player fingers?
He should be learning piano. He has super long and big hands. It's like alien long hands, and he can just when he does a bar chord, his fingers coming off the guitar a little bit. I'm like,
Wow.
and mine are like, okay, I'm just a little over. I've small hands for playing guitar,
Yeah.
but it's like alien fingers, guy there. What advice do you give to people who are starting guitar for the first time?
I normally just say to stick with it because it's so rewarding once you can do it. Even at the beginning when you're not that confident with it, because it was a bit like I was saying to you, I've been playing for 7 years, but for the first year of that, at least, that was just properly bad, just making it through songs kind of playing, because like you can't really pick up the extra things about technique when you're not confident with all the chords yet. So I normally just say to stick with it if you really want to play, because it's so worth it. It's such a good handy skill to have, but also just a rewarding hobby. Just to love a song and be able to just pick up the guitar and play it is such a nice thing to do.
Yeah. I do think it's the biggest learning curve I've ever done of anything. But it was only around Christmas that I was comfortable enough to look at a song and just know it and be able to play going, oh, this is really easy now. Why couldn't it be this easy months ago?
Yeah. I find it's one of those things, it's a weird thing that it's one of the only things I can think of that you would learn and go through pain that you know you're going through just for the end result. Like, it's just funny how people know how painful guitar is, and every day they pick up the guitar, because I was the same. Every day you pick up the guitar and you're like, I know this is going to be really painful, but I really want to play this song. And it hurts the whole time you're playing the song, but you just want to play it. It's just such a cool and funny thing.
It is. I find it very rewarding when you just mess around and go, oh, that sounds really nice.
Yeah.
Where's that from? I know I've robbed that from somewhere. And you're like, maybe I came up with it myself.
Yeah, that's the tricky thing about songwriting is you always have to think, have I copied this from either a song on the radio or a friend's song? Like, I was writing a part for a song the other day and I was singing the melody and I was like, that's really nice. And I was like, nope, that's from my friend's song. I can't use that. Just because you hear people's songs so much and you love them and you don't think about it. And then, so I always have to kind of have a quick sweep over everything I've written.
Yeah, that's you don't be like, oh my god, I came up with this amazing song. What's it called? Ziggy Stardust. It's fantastic.
It's a tune. It's going to be the next big thing.
I'm picturing when I do it, I should have red hair. Just just for red hair. I think the band should be called the Spiders, and the other person's just looking at you, going, "All right. Did he play with left hand? He did. Jeez, he did. Yeah." Because I got the new acoustic guitar, I always strummed with guitar picks, obviously.
Yeah.
But since I got the new guitar, I decided not to.
Yeah.
Because I was keeping hitting it off the when I strum, I'd hit the guitar at the same time, so I had a lot of.
Yeah.
So I I was trying to learn it, but I really pushed myself into playing with my actual hand, like strumming with my finger or different ways of strumming using my fingers, or the piano.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Have you ever incorporated that, or do you incorporate that, or are you just like, no?
I use a mixture of everything, really. I don't actually play with a guitar pick that much. I started out playing with a pick. And I think when I first started, you'd always have a pick by the side. But I think it's because of the fact that I have a quiet singing voice. I now generally play without a pick. I for some songs I mix up and I have a pick with it, but it has a very, very different sound to it, I find. So a pick is quite abrasive and it makes a very loud sort of sound.
Yes.
Whereas when you're playing with flesh, so to speak, it doesn't. I've actually got. I'll see if I can show you what I mean, because I've got my guitar here. But I.
Show you what I mean.
Just because I play with a different, like you just can't hear a voice in the same way because I have quite a soft voice. Like here's one I prepared earlier.
Well.
Just like if you play like that's with a pick compared to that's with my hands, and you can just hear the difference of the two.
Yeah, I do know you. It's some songs. It's very nice when you just use your fingers and you're like, oh, that's lovely. But like, yeah I do get you because I was then trying to do certain songs like A Letter to Money. I was like, maybe I should record this with a pick, and then I play it and I was like, God, that's so loud.
Yeah.
Let's knock it back a little bit.
Yeah, because even if you play with a pick softly, it just has a sharper sound to it. But I also do a lot of palm muting and stuff, which isn't as easy to have the same effect if you play with a pick. So, but I definitely mix it up.
One thing, because I have my guitar really close to me as well. One thing I found the most challenging thing, and it took me a week to figure out. You know that little that smack.
Yeah.
It took me a week to figure out how to do that without hurting my hands. Just making a kind of paw and hit my nails off the bottom strings. And it took me a week, and I'm like, I was so happy I was able to do that whole.
Yeah, it's a weird. There's a lot of chord sequences that you listen to, and they sound like they're easy to play, but like it's actually kind of hard to get the like string slap in sometimes, like and still keep the rhythm of the song going.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally get what you mean. It's fitting it in sometimes.
If you properly play Stand By Me, there's smacking in it. Every time he does a chord, change chord, he smacks.
Yeah, Yeah.
And I was trying to, because I learned it without the smacks, because I didn't know that there was smacks, even though I heard it in the song for years. And I was like, Jesus, this is 4 chords really easy. And then I was like, well, if you watch this video, if you really want to play it, you have to capo this one and you hit it. And I was like, oh, Jesus, I've just completely lost all the timing.
Yeah. It's, yeah, like, it feels like one of those things where you're like, why can't I do this? Like trying to run in a dream or something. There's a song by Frank Turner that I listen to that has like this, the chords at the beginning have this like stop in them. It's kind of a bit like that sort of thing. And just to get that stop into the chords took me so long, and I still not that good at it. And I was like, why is this so unnatural to do? But I think it's just because it isn't a normal, comfortable rhythm. But
even playing, because this, my brother showed me this, because my brother had like 6 tips, or 6 or 3 tips, and he shows everyone, because my brother was like, give me a lesson every 6 months, and he was like, alright, now do that, come back to me in 6 months. And just just playing that way with my hands, where I hit the A with my thumb, and then with 3 other ones hit the bottom 3 strings.
yeah,
Just took me so long, but now it's so second nature.
yeah, it feels normal, doesn't it?
And now I'm trying to learn the whole, the piano hand kind of thing, what is very complicated, and I put time into it, but I obviously still need to put more time into it.
Yeah.
Now, are you willing to play a song?
Yes.
What are you going to play?
I'm going to play Give Me an Answer, which is off the new EP.
Oh! Ladies and gentlemen, off the new EP.
I think it'll be the last track on the EP. And it's a song quite close to my heart, because it's about how rubbish the music industry can be.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen.
Don't worry, you're safe, she says to me, in her way. It's not a race, but through that shield she feels my heart quake. You're at the end of the line, and you're so far from high that you feel yourself falling down, and that anchor's tethered to the ground. Give me an answer, is it 'cause I lost my way? Give me an answer, 'cause to me it's not a game. Something is broken and I lack all sense of place. They've seen the answer and they've hidden it far away. Don't worry, you're safe, he says to me as he wakes. You'll win the race, but through that mask I see his heart shake. You're at the end of the line, and you're so far from high that you feel yourself falling down, and that anchor's tethered to the ground. Give me an answer, is it 'cause I lost my way? Give me an answer, 'cause to me it's not a game. Something is broken and I lack all sense of place. They've seen the answer and they've hidden it far away. I will search far and wide. I've had my share of waiting. I will not run and hide for the fear and the hating. We will search far and wide. We've had our share of waiting. We will not run and hide for the fear and the hating. Give me an answer, is it 'cause I lost my way? Give me an answer, 'cause to me it's not a game. Something is broken and I lack all sense of place. They've seen the answer and they've hidden it far away. Far away. Exclusive track from me.
Actually, going to ask you to cut it out of the episode. That was very, very nice. Very nice.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, that was yeah, yes. I love
Like a
I love hearing anytime I get a new album, I want to like remember it. So every time I get a new album, I want to be like what it should have been, what it must have been like when we were in the 70s and 60s, and it was so harder to get. And you play it, and it just be like, oh, like I could just imagine what the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band was like for the first time. You're just like, whoa, that's a bit of an interesting take. So I always love hearing songs for the first time because I always try to remember them. Going, oh, that was nice. And I hope they're good. Well, thank you for that. That was very nice.
That's alright, no worries.
I should have asked you earlier, how did you get into touring and gigging?
I think it was just always a mandatory thing, really, to be a musician. I suppose I've performed all of my life anyway because, as I said, I used to play the flute. So I used to go into like lots of competitions and stuff. I'm actually very thankful for my flute teacher because she was quite pushy. And she put me forward for all these flute competitions and music competitions and stuff like that. So I always did a lot of performing that way anyway. And I think because of that, I always loved being on the stage. I'm not actually like a really confident person on the stage, but I do love it. So I think when I started doing this, the plan was always to do it in a live setting and, you know, play shows and hopefully have people come to watch me, which hopefully one day I'll have a fan base that will come and want to see my shows and they'll like get things from my music as well. But yeah, that's the plan. But yeah, it was just always in my head to do that. And you just at first you just go around all the local venues and all the open mics and you say, hey, can I play? Have you got any slots for me? And you just play all of those and gradually people ask you to do other things and that's kind of how it progresses.
Nice. I enjoy finding someone new on YouTube and listening to them. There's new, they're called the Mona Lisa twins.
Okay.
And they're very good and do covers and I like some of the songs. And I like, because when you hear a female singer and you hear like a solo female singer, you just like, oh god. You just suspect, like, there's a band called Crafty Fuzz in Dublin and they play in Swords a lot.
Yeah.
And I was being told about this band for about a year straight. And I finally agreed to go and see them. And then I was just mentioned, oh yeah, she's the singer, she's amazing. I was like, she? And I was like, yeah, I've never mentioned to you as a girl. I purposely didn't want to tell you as a girl. Like, and I was like, exactly, I was like, oh. And she was amazing singer. So powerful.
Yeah.
And I always be seeing. I think it's something that was like, oh Jesus, a woman can't do rock and roll. No. But then I'm always like, I'm always forgetting that they have amazing voices. Like there's a guy close by and his sister, and he's this very nice kind of mature voice, and she has this very soft, like if you believe in stuff like this, an angel's kind of voice of so powerful and soft, and they sing a lot together, and it's anytime they sing together it's just like, oh wow. Like
magical.
She does Jolene, and she does a very amazing version of Jolene.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh wow.
Oh, nice.
And they're also both really nice people. Like, do you want a cup of tea? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it's always helps when people are nice. You meet a few people at gigs and stuff and they're a bit standoffish and you're like, oh okay. Like I saw this guy busking the other day and I went up to speak to him because I was supposed to be doing something in the spot that he was busking, and I wasn't trying to take his slot at all because I actually haven't really ever done proper busking, and I was just asking him how long he was going to be there for, and he was being really standoffish, and I was like, dude, I'm not trying to take your slot, I'm just asking you a few questions. But it's interesting when you meet people, like, because you're just thinking, like, the industry is all about networking, and it like one of the nicest things about it is having loads of friends who do similar things to you. So yeah, it's strange when people aren't interested.
I heard this advice: you'll never be lonely if you have a guitar. You'll always have friends.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's a good point actually.
Sadly, we've been talking for an hour and nearly 20 minutes. Recording wise, we've been talking longer. It has been so much fun doing the interview. Actually doing an interview again, it's been a very long time. And talking to someone who's very interested about not gaming or reviewing, that's always good.
Something a bit different.
You can only ask the same questions, like, what way do you record? And they're always interested in their answers, but it's always nice when I got like Valentino the model, and then I got like Professor Juice, who's a reviewer, not a let's player, and then I got a musician who sang a very nice song that is exclusive. I will end it here, and I've already made the offer. Anyone who knows my channel know I do a lot with Lydia. I've already made the offer to do off topic.
Yeah.
And 20 questions. I love doing 20 questions with people.
20Q.
But would you want to play a song to leave, or do you want to say goodbye?
I really don't mind. Which would you prefer?
I think a song going will be fantastic. We can end it with a song, and
okay, awesome.
You can pick whatever song you want. Yours, covers, I do not mind, but I'll just end it here. I've been Hunter Man, the Tature of the Man. This has been
Thank you very much for having me.
This has been the lovely Stark.
Cool. Yeah, I will finish with a song, which is also off the EP actually.
Oh, two people, two.
I'm just trying to work out what cap I want. Okay, I'm going to take my headphones out again.
Oh,
but yeah.
Okay.
Check out my channel if you're listening to this.
Links will be in the bottom below.
Yay! Okay, and at the moment this song is called Untitled, but I'm sure it won't be called Untitled on the EP. Bruise on either side, he treats me right, he treats me like you might. If you could ever feel the same, but never mind. Behind those secret eyes, you know there is no space, and that it's just another game. So don't close your eyes. If you think of me, that light inside your heart's burned out. There's no need to shield yourself. This scene is not a fight. Though your guard is up, your mind is down the line. Don't remind me of a happier time. The time goes by, don't tell me why our past has hidden for so long. We both see the barricade and your sight. Although I know they lie, seem set so far from fate and from what our dreams make. So don't close your eyes. If you think of me, that light inside your heart's burned out. There's no need to shield yourself. This sin is not a fight. Though your guard is up, your mind is down the line. Don't remind me of a happier time. Your light's burning away. You're looking just the same. I should have guessed a tale of trouble with no name. And as your rule book states, you're seeming just as plain, not as you'd want, a sense of pride that's turned insane. So don't close your eyes. If you think of me, that light inside your heart's burned out. There's no need to shield yourself. This sin is not a fight. Though your guard is up, your mind is down the line. Don't remind me of a happier time. All done.